Hi and welcome. My name is Vanessa. This evening flow is designed to bring you more sense of ease and calm and spaciousness so that you can go to sleep a little bit more relaxed and ready to unwind completely. We go through very simple movements and postures. We will be twisting a little bit, and I do recommend to keep a cushion close by. You can do everything today on your bed directly or a sofa if you want to. So there is no big activation of energy. It's actually trying to let your body settle and very naturally come to a relaxation response state. We make a start into any comfortable seated position. So I like to sit on a cushion. And if you want to, get again yourself a little higher up onto the hips so that you can perhaps let your knees drop sideways. You can feel the crease of your hips is not that tight and your spine can comfortably lengthen. Now your hands resting on top of your thighs. Take a moment to arrive in space. Your eyes can be closed, they can be soft. Start noticing how is your breath right now. Without trying to change it, just really notice. And if you feel like you need to take a little sigh out or a longer exhalation, really listen to your body and do that. Maybe just doing a big sound can feel nourishing, can feel settling for your body. And whatever you're sitting on, can you give a little pressure through your sit bones and lift up through the crown of your head a bit more? So there is a sense of poise and spaciousness. We try not to slouch. And maintaining that length, your eyes can open again if they were closed. Start circling your shoulders forward, up and back. And again, start lubricating your joints with a generous circle. Take this one more time. And then reverse your circle. So draw your shoulders well behind you, up and forward. Less is more. So if you're feeling your jaw is getting a bit tense, your face is getting very serious, see if you can let it go. Now when you're ready, start lifting your hands sideways and bring your fingertips behind your back. You want to interlock them. And if that feels easy, can you lengthen your arms back and press your chest ever so slightly forward? So get some of the tension out of your pectoral muscles. Feel that you can move your breastbone forward and shoulders plug down your back. And now maintaining this posture, if this doesn't work, your hands can rest simply on your back. We're going to mobilize our neck. So let your chin drop to the chest without any effort. And let your chin rise up, keeping the back of the neck long. And again, chin drops down to your chest. And she lifts. And if you're finding natural to open your lips ever so slightly, we don't have to look pretty now, we just need to relax or to facilitate the relaxation. So feel free to let your jaw hang. Feel that your cheekbones are hanging there. Your cheek muscles can soften as you do that movement. And then slowly, as you resume your center position, start turning your head slightly to one side and to the other one. Invite your eyes to be very soft. So your focus is really diffused. But if there's anything you like in the space you're in, just feel free to really enjoy that. Like I've got lots of plants here and I love them. I love the color green, so my eyes will naturally travel. Whatever you like in your space, keep on scanning with your eyes, trying to get that sense of visual pleasure in without focusing too much on anything. And then please come all the way back into center, let go of the grip and take again a couple of shoulder rolls. This time you can let your arms move a little bit more. If you like, you can even let your elbows lift and lower, but the fingers are soft. And then come down one more time, hands onto your thighs. We finish off with a gentle circle of the head before we move on. So let your chin find the chest or move down. And then keep your shoulders plugging and move your chin slightly to the left. Stay here and notice what happens to your breath. So if you feel your breath is holding, take a smoother exhalation. And then come back into center, take it to the other side. So chin towards your right shoulder. You can keep a very diffused gaze, maintaining the left shoulder plugging down. And we do this one more each side. So like a rainbow down, all the way to the left. Right shoulder heavy, jaw is soft, and again down, and to the other side. And as you make your way back into center, that releasing the pose, come off your cushion if you have one. And let's begin create a little bit more space now into our hips. So if you want to face my same direction, maybe you can turn towards your right side if you mirror me. Otherwise, you can face the front. Take the weight back on your hands. Your feet are together. And start dropping your left knee if you mirror me, or whatever knee you like, and bring it back to center, and then take it to the other side. So just let your knees drop and then bring them back. And now we're gonna do this, but shift the whole weight of the body across. So if your knees are moving to one side, let the other one follow. Let your hips lift, but try and maintain the chest facing the same direction as before. And then return back into center one knee at a time and take it to the other side. So one knee drops, the other one follows. Your hips might lift, but your chest wants to face the front. So you're getting some spinal twist here. And again, come back to center, let your knees drop one by one. Try and lengthen through your neck so we have a little bit of activation, a little bit of pushing from the fingers. And then if this makes sense in your body, start flowing through it. So one knee drops, the other one follows. One knee drops, the other one follows. And depending on how much you want to stretch your hips, you might want to press your knees to the ground a bit more consciously. But if you want to keep this very lazy, just let them fold side to side. Now you might notice that I'm starting to shift forward. So if this is happening to you as well, when you need to, you can reset back. And let's take this a couple of more times. You choose how much intensity you want to bring to this movement, how much you want to stretch your hips today. Lovely. And when you're ready, come all the way back into your center. Now find the soles of the feet together and walk your hands in. Keep the fingertips spinning backwards and very gently press your chest forward, open across your collarbones. As you exhale, walk your hands to the front. We come into a gentle forward fold into butterfly. So your hands can rest on the floor. If you have a cushion and you want extra support, you can get the cushion in front of you. I'm showing you from this side as well. And you can rest your hands on top. This is going to help you bring the floor closer to you. You can find yourself pretty low and perhaps use the cushion to rest your head. So I'm going to invite you to stay here for about 5 breaths or 8 breaths. Your knees completely soft, and the space between your heels and your hips is really up to you. Sometimes it feels much easier on the hips to make more space. So as you pose into this forward fold, notice if there is anywhere in your body that still holds a little bit of tension that feels really active. This can be your neck, your shoulders, many other places. And allow those areas of the body to become a bit heavier in a good way. Oftentimes our neck doesn't really want to relax. So if that's the case, notice what happens if you let the crown of your head point down. If you let your jaw soften, and maybe you take again a big sigh out, and you allow your body to melt a bit more. There is no right or wrong in this position, so as long as you can feel the upper body is getting a bit heavier and you're switching off progressively your muscles. When you're ready, start rolling back and up through your spine. Bring your feet together. We're going to go into a gentle twist. So whatever you're facing, I'm going to mirror you in this one. Take your feet and knees together and you decide how backwards you want to shift yourself, if it's a low mountain or a sharp mountain, whatever you feel comfortable. Let's begin with bringing, if you mirror me, your left hand behind you and your right arm up. Or choose whatever arm you want to do first. Now breathe in, and as you exhale, take your arm across, and you can maybe catch the calf, or if you have long arms, if you feel you've got lots of twisting possibility today, you can extend the arm, use the back of your elbow against your thighs, lift your chest up and twist a bit more to the side. Less is more, so don't think about getting strong in your abdominals. Think about unwinding your back, helping yourself with your arms. So any grips you have, if you notice you're rocking backwards, can you use your back hand to push the sit bones down, push your fingers down, and lengthen your head above your hips. There is again a soft gaze. Allow your belly, allow your chest to expand as you breathe in and out. And come back into your center, take it to the other side. So changing, right hand goes behind your left arm up. Keep that length and twist up and over to the other side. So you can catch the outside of your thigh, you can bring the palm to face the outside, and then use your elbow to give a little bit of pressure against the knee, but the knee wants to react as well. Oftentimes having the pelvis backwards might feel easier. Try and feel that sensation of grounding through your sit bones and floating up through the crown. And your shoulders want to also melt onto the back. Your neck is rotating if you like, but it's not struggling to get anywhere. So keep it soft. Beautiful. As you come all the way back into your center, release your legs, open them slightly apart, and if you feel like you can start lengthening a bit more, just depending on how your hamstrings feeling today. We're going to go into a little sway action. So we shift the weight a bit more onto one side, one hip can lift, and then you're taking it to the other side. Very lazy. So start releasing your legs if you feel your feet are tensing. Keep your legs really switched off, soft, and shift. So sense your sit bones on the floor. You can get a little massage for your glutes as well as you do that. You can look down. Actually really let your head hang. Do whatever feels natural to you. And then once you find yourself exactly with the same amount of pressure on your sit bones, we're going to fold forward. So take one last seated posture for this sequence. Walk your hands to the front or on your shins. And again, invite your upper body to soften. So if this feels really uncomfortable, I'm going to give you lots of options to play with. Some of us might really enjoy keeping your knees a bit more bent rather than locking them. And actually, I recommend we keep them soft anyway. So you can place a pillow or something folded like a towel or a big blanket. So the back of your knees is resting, and you might find that it is easier for your body to meet the thighs, so the chest can come closer to your thighs. So this is option one. Option two, you can also get your pillow on top of your thighs, if you don't mind keeping your legs hanging there. And you're going to roll it as much as you need it, so your elbows perhaps can rest. Your elbows can rest, and you can also support your head if your neck struggles with relaxation. So I invite you to use any cushions, anything you have, either under your knees or on top of your legs, so that if hanging there passively is not working for you, you can have a little support. So wherever you arrive, if it feels natural to you to start closing your eyes, feel free to do it. Otherwise, maintain the gaze as soft. And I will invite you to be here for a couple of minutes. Instead of thinking, this is going to be the practice where I will get super flexible, think about doing less, keeping this to a 60% of intensity maximum. But try and really switch off your muscles. So we can take this time to scan mindfully through the body and notice if there are any holding patterns. And then gently ask them to move to relaxation. So if the belly is feeling tight, what happens if you breathe into your belly a little bit more and you let it all go? Or if you feel your fingertips and your toes are contracting, they still hold maybe lots of energy from the day, what happens if you let them be a little bit more loose? Let's take about 3 more breaths or so. Feeling the weight of your shoulders drop. Your legs switching off completely. And when you feel ready, you can start gently pressing the floor away to lift up. And then find your way to come laying all the way down onto your back. So now make sure you got a little bit of space around you. As you arrive on the floor, take your feet together and open your arms slightly sideways, palms facing down. We go back into the little knee rock. So only one leg at a time. You can keep your eyes pointing up to the ceiling or close them. Just feel the back of the neck is long. Now let your knee, maybe the left one, let's go with the left first, so drop to one side, and then bring it back to center. And then right knee drops to the other side, and bring it back. Try not to use your muscles too tight, just strong. Just let the knee drop fully, and then use the minimum amount of energy to bring it back home. And one more. Lovely. Now we're going to get into the full. So let one knee drop, let the other one follow. Try and keep the opposite shoulder on the floor, and then come back into center. Drop your knees one by one to the opposite side. So if your knees go perhaps to the right, can you keep your left shoulder resting on the floor and come back to center? One knee drops, the other one follows, nice and lazy, and return to center. Your belly is fully relaxed, yeah? So it's not an abdominal exercise, it just really gets in a little bit of mobility into the hips, and that soothing rocking might feel delicious for the back. Okay, now, the next time your knees come over to your left side, you're gonna pause there. And if you feel you're comfortable here, you stay. I personally prefer to keep my knees closer to my chest when I twist, so I will drop my knees a little bit closer. Your feet resting one on top of the other, and then you can shift the chest a little bit more backwards and use your top hand to rest on top of the top thigh. Actually, the bottom hand to rest on the top thigh. Then we're gonna move, in this case, the right hand, so the opposite of the direction of your knees. We're going to stretch it above the head to the back of the mat. And as you do that, notice if you can feel any opening at the level of the side of the rib cage, maybe your armpits. So take a moment to unwind your neck and get longer across the arm. And then the arm moves all the way to the right side. Keep lengthening through your fingers. And notice what happens to the back of your right shoulder. Let's do this one more time. Lengthen your arm up towards the back of your mat. Try and keep the back of your hand reaching the floor. And then reopen all the way to the side. Maybe lengthen a little bit more. So literally drawing a quarter turn. And let's do this one more time. Lengthen your arm. Maybe feel that there is more surface of your arm which is now touching the floor. This means your body is loosening up progressively. And then take your right arm again towards the right side. And we're going to pause into this twist. So if this gives you enough stretch and it feels like the right place to stay, you can stay. You can also cross your top knee over to the bottom one. And this is going to apply a little bit more pulling action, increasing slightly the sensation of stretching into the waistline. Your head is positioned in any place that feels natural to you. If you feel like exhaling through your mouth, maybe there is still some buildup of energy you need to release, feel free to do it. Notice if your belly is soft and receptive of the breath. So is there a little movement in your belly when you breathe in and when you breathe out? And now slowly take your time to come all the way back into center. Refine your feet flat on the floor. Realign your spine, your head in line with your hips, and take a moment to pause here. So your knees can be together or slightly apart, but find again your center. Find the back of your shoulder blades resting, the back of your pelvis resting on the floor. And we take the twist straight away to the other side. So you can begin with your feet together, your hands opening slightly, and then let your knees drop one by one to the side. And for someone, this is already a great place to stay. If you like to draw your thighs closer to you, just bring your knees in a little bit more. This will usually intensify the stretch in your lower back. Then you can use your right hand on top of your left thigh, and you can reach your left arm towards the back of the mat. It is absolutely normal if your left shoulder is off the ground. So don't worry about that. But notice if you can sense some stretching at the level of the left armpit, maybe your left side of the chest, the waistline. So let your legs switch off and maybe reach your left fingertips a little bit longer behind you. Now notice which part of your left arm is touching the floor. Maybe it's just the hand. That's perfect. Let's begin circling the arm. So we take the arm up and towards the left side. And then again up and back. And we're looking at maintaining as much as possible the surface of the arm connecting to the ground. Imagine you're drawing in sand or you're doing like a small snow angel. That's kind of the sensation. Drop the weight of the body and lengthen. And refine your twist. So let's do this one more time on this side. Reach all the way up and back. And then maintain the twist to take your left arm away from your knees. Your head can be in any position you like. And if you wish, cross your left knee on top of the right to create a bit more pulling action. Feel free to deepen the exhalation so that if there is one part of the breath you might want to focus to prepare to go to sleep, it's really the breathing out. Breathing out physiologically feels for the body like a relaxation, like a surrendering. So feel free to let that happen naturally to you. Don't hold back. If you want to make a little sound when you exhale, that can really be incredibly soothing. Now take your time to come back into center. Find any symmetrical pose you want to take at this point. So this is going to be where we rest and finish our practice. If you want to keep your knees bent, I invite you to take the feet wide and knock the knees in so your legs can really switch off. Or you can lengthen your legs if you like to sleep on your back. And if you want to use a cushion, you can also place a cushion under your knees. This is a great way to maintain the spine a bit more neutral. So this is great if your lower back is a bit tight and you tend to arch your back quite a lot as attitude. So this helps your spine find the natural arches and curls and can release your lower back muscles a bit more. So anywhere you want to pose, you can bring one hand on the belly, the other one on top. And feel your whole body coming to rest. Your shoulders drop in. Your jaw unclenching. And your belly rising and falling naturally. You don't have to do anything. This is what your body does naturally. Making a bit more space. Expanding as you breathe in. And softening as you breathe out. I'm going to let you rest. So enjoy this as maybe a bridge into your sleep or as a way to close your day. So thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope that was helpful and I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you.